Okay, this video will be a quick refresher for those of you who need it for mean, median, mode, and range. I think probably the first time that you were introduced to these topics was early on, probably in middle school or maybe even in elementary school when you first start talking about some of these things. And I know you've done it quite a bit over the years, but people tend to forget these things. So as part of our stats unit, we want to make sure that we go back and revisit these because having a measure of central tendency is important, and as you move forward, it gets more involved, and there are some other things that we have to take into consideration, but it all starts with these basics: mean, median, mode, and then eventually we'll get into range. So a set of data can contain many numbers. To help understand the data, you can let one number describe the set of data. This number is called a measure of central tendency because it represents the center or the middle of the data. The most commonly used measures of central tendency are the mean, the median, and the mode. The mean is the average of the set of data, is the sum, or average of the set of data is the sum of the data, which means you add it all up and then divide by the number of pieces of data. Okay, so add all the pieces up, divide by the number of pieces. The median of a set of data is the middle number when the data is arranged in numerical order. So this is important. It needs to be in order. And then finally, the easiest one, the mode of a set of data, is the number that occurs most often. Okay, now this should be a review. So let's go through some examples that are already done out for us. I'm just going to walk you through it. So hopefully, if you needed a review, this is somewhat helpful. So let's just look at, we're going to use this information, okay, so favorite snack foods, amount consumed per pound, per person, per year. So potato chips, tortilla chips, pretzels, microwave popcorn, snack nuts, cheese puffs, corn chips, ready-to-eat popcorn, party mix, and homemade popcorn, okay? So, and these are the snack foods, and it tells us how much of those snacks people are typically eating, okay? Now the number is listed in order from least to greatest, or greatest to least, however you want to look at it. So just in this order, it's helpful if we're trying to find the median. But let's go through and find all the data, all these measures of central tendency based on this data. So number one, the mean, which is the average. So we take all of those numbers, we add them up, we get 20.5. There's 10 pieces of data. We go back, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We divide by 10, you get an average, or a mean, which is 2.05 pounds. Okay? Let's look at median. The median of the set of data is the middle number. Okay? Now, since it was already listed in order, you can kind of rewrite it, or you could have just left it right here and done it from the graph. But what we've done here is we've listed it from least to greatest. And typically what I like to do is if I make a mark like that, I'll make another one going in the opposite direction there, and I'm working my way to the middle. Okay? Now in this case, because there's four, so there's 10 pieces, so this is an even number of numbers, you're never going to have one number in the middle. So in this case, you'll notice, wait a second, I don't have a middle number, I have two middle numbers. When that happens, you need to take those two numbers and find the average of those two numbers. So we take 1.5, we add it to 1.2, divide by 2, get 1.35. That would be the median in this case. If there were an odd number of numbers, let's say there were 9 numbers, as you cross off, you will end up with one number in the middle that you can just circle. Okay? The mode of this data. So we still have that same list, okay? And we look through, and it says in this set, 0.4 and 1.5 each appear twice. So that's here, 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 and here. So the set of data has two modes, 0.4 pound and 1.5 pounds. So you can have more than one mode, okay? So that's mean, median, mode. And then finally we have something called range, but let's get to that in a second. Did I skip the range? I think I have to go after it. Let's do some examples quickly, okay? So what I'm going to ask you to do is stop the video and try to find the average of these two examples, okay? Then when you're finished, bring it back and make sure you get the same answers that I do, and if not, then make your corrections, okay? So for part A, when I add all these numbers up, I get 161. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 numbers, so my average for this one is 23, okay? On part B, we have a stem and leaf plot, which you should have some experience with. Okay, so there's let's see, 6, 4 is 10, 11, 12. There's 14 numbers. Okay, I'm just going to put that off to the side. Starting at 73 and ending with 116. So that's how a stem and leaf plot works. There's a video for that if you haven't seen that yet. So what I do when I add 73, 75, 76, I add all these numbers up, and I ended up with 1295. I'm going to divide by 14 to find my mean, and I get 92.5. Okay? So hopefully you had stopped the video and you have those same answers. If not, try and figure out where you made your mistake. Let's do the median of these two sets of data. Once again, stop the video real quick and rewrite these. When you're finding the median, it's important. You can't just start crossing things off unless they're in numerical order. So for the first one, so stop the video, come back, see how you did. I would rewrite this as 4, 6, nope, I already made a mistake. 4, 5, 6, 8, and 12. And I cross off, and in this case I have one number in the middle which represents the median, because there were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 numbers you knew you had one in the middle. Okay. Now over here I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 numbers, so you know there's going to be 2 in the middle that you have to find the average of. So I'm going to rewrite this: 1, 3, 6, 8, 10, 12, 15, and 17. So I cross off, and I'm left with 2 in the middle. So I take 8 plus 10, which is 18. I divide it by the number of numbers. So my median in this case would be 9. Okay? Now, in the next ones, you don't have to stop the video. We can just look at this together. If I ask you to find the mode of this set of data right here, it looks like I have a 7 here and a 7 there. So the mode would be 7. And in this case, it looks like I have no repeats, so I would say that there's no mode on this one. Okay? So that's mean, median, mode. Let's look at range really quick. Measures of central tendency may not give an accurate description of a set of data. Often measures of variation are used to describe the distribution of the data. A common measure of variation is the range. The range is a set of data, is the difference between the greatest and the least value of the set. So to find the range of the snack food data, subtract the least value from the data set from the greatest value. Pretty simple. The largest number was 67. The least number was 0.4. 67 minus 0.4, 63. That would be the range of the data. Okay? So last slide. If I asked you to find the range of this set of data, you need to find the largest number, which is 12. You need to subtract the smallest number, which is 4, and we get an answer of 8. So the range in this case is 8. On this problem, the largest, now this is kind of an interesting graph or table. This is almost it's kind of a combination between a frequency table and a histogram, right? It's almost like a bar chart, but it's a frequency. Each x, I'm assuming, means how many times x10 shows up. So this set of data would be 10, 11, 11, 12, 12, 12, 13, 13. But that doesn't really matter for this problem. The range, what's the largest number? It's a 13, and the smallest number is a 10. So the range of this data is 13. Okay? So that's it. Quick snapshot of mean, median, mode, and range.